My name is Megan. I'm 34 years old. I work as a senior accountant for a mid-sized firm in the city, the kind of job that requires attention to detail, a love of spreadsheets, and the ability to spot a discrepancy from a mile away. I'm not rich, but I'm careful. I'm not flashy, but I'm smart. I grew up in a small town in Michigan where my mother taught me that family is everything, that you take care of the people you love, that you show up for them, even when it's hard, that you don't walk away when things get difficult. My mother died 6 years ago. Cancer. She fought for 2 years before she let go. I was with her in the hospital room when she took her last breath. I held her hand. I told her I loved her. She squeezed my fingers and whispered, "Take care of each other, Megan. That's what family does. That's what family is." I promised her I would. I promised her I'd never abandon the people I loved. I met James 14 years ago at a college party. He was studying engineering. I was studying finance. He was quiet, thoughtful, with a gentle smile and kind eyes that crinkled at the corners when he laughed. We talked for hours that night, about our families, our dreams, our plans for the future. He told me about his mother, Patricia, a widow, a strong woman who'd raised him alone after his father died of a heart attack when James was just 12 years old. He said she was his hero. He said she'd worked 3 jobs to keep a roof over their heads. He said she'd sacrificed everything for him. I loved him for that. I loved him for the way he talked about her with such admiration and respect. I thought it said something beautiful about him, that he honored his mother so deeply. I didn't realize I was marrying into a family where I would always be second, where I would always be the outsider, where my love and my sacrifices would never be enough, where I would be used and discarded like a tool that had outlived its usefulness. James and I got married 6 months after we graduated. We couldn't afford a big wedding. We had a small ceremony in a local park, with just a few friends and family members. I wore a dress I'd bought on sale for $200. James wore a suit he'd rented. Patricia was there, of course. She wore a cream-colored dress and smiled for the photos. She hugged James and whispered something in his ear, something that made him tear up. She shook my hand like I was a business associate, not her new daughter-in-law. She said, "Welcome to the family, I suppose." It wasn't warm. It wasn't kind. But I told myself she was just nervous, just guarded, just protecting her heart after losing her husband. A few months after we got married, Patricia started struggling. She'd lost her job at the factory where she'd worked for 20 years. She was behind on her mortgage. She was scared she was going to lose her house, the house where James had grown up. The house his father had built with his own hands, the house that held all their memories, the house that was, in many ways, the only thing she had left. She called James. She cried on the phone. I could hear her voice through the receiver, high and trembling and desperate. "I don't know what to do," she said. "I'm going to lose everything. The bank is calling every day. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm so scared, James. I'm so scared." James looked at me with pleading eyes. "We can't let her lose the house," he said. "It's all she has. She's my mother. She raised me alone. She sacrificed everything for me. We have to help her." I agreed. Of course I agreed. Patricia was family. And family takes care of each other. That's what my mother taught me. That's what I believed. We started paying her mortgage. At first, it was just a few $100s a month. $350 to be exact. Then it became more. The payments increased as her financial situation worsened. We covered her property taxes. We paid for her utilities when she couldn't. We bought her groceries when she was low on cash. We paid for her car insurance when she couldn't afford it. We helped her with everything, every single month, for 7 years. Then came the renovations. Patricia's house was old. It needed constant repairs. "The kitchen is falling apart," she said one day. "The cabinets are rotting. The countertops are cracked. I can't even cook in there anymore. I'm so embarrassed. I can't have anyone over." So I spent my savings, $6,000 that I'd been saving for a new car, to renovate her kitchen. New cabinets, new countertops, new appliances, new flooring. I spent weekends at her house, picking out tile, choosing paint colors, supervising contractors. Patricia would sit in her living room, watching her soap operas, while I worked. She'd call me into the room every hour or so to ask me to bring her tea, or adjust the thermostat, or answer her phone. "The roof is leaking," she said a year later. "I'm scared it's going to collapse. I heard water dripping in the attic. I can't afford to fix it. I don't know what to do." So James spent 2 weekends on her roof, replacing shingles, patching holes, sealing cracks. He came home exhausted, with bruises on his arms and cuts on his hands. I made him dinner and rubbed his aching shoulders. "It's for your mother," I said. "It's for family." "The water heater is broken," she said another time. "I haven't had a hot shower in 3 days. I'm so cold. I'm so tired." So I bought her a new water heater. I paid for the installation. I didn't even blink. It was family. That's what you do. "When I'm gone," Patricia told me one evening, sitting in her newly renovated kitchen, "this house will be yours. James is my only son. You're like a daughter to me, the daughter I never had. Of course the house is going to you. You've done so much for me. You've earned it. You deserve it more than anyone." I believed her. I believed her completely. I didn't know she was lying to my face. I didn't know she was already planning to give it to someone else. 7 years. That's how long I paid her mortgage. 7 years of automatic transfers from our joint account to her bank account. 7 years of repairs and renovations and grocery runs and emergency calls. 7 years of treating that house like it would one day be mine. 7 years of believing I was building a future for my family. For James. For me. For the children we hoped to have someday. And then came the call. The call that changed everything. The call that shattered every illusion I'd ever had about family and loyalty and trust. It was a Tuesday afternoon in October. I was at work, reviewing spreadsheets, when my phone rang. It was Patricia's lawyer, Mr. Henderson. "Mrs. Thompson," he said, "I need to meet with you. It's regarding your mother-in-law's estate. It's important." I felt a chill run down my spine. Is she okay? Is something wrong with Patricia? Is she sick? "No, no," he said. "She's perfectly fine. I just need to discuss some legal documents with you. Can you come to my office tomorrow at 10 a.m.? I went. I sat in his office. He slid the document across his mahogany desk. I read it. My hands were shaking. My face was hot. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. "The property at 42 Maple Street is bequeathed to Amanda Cooper, niece of the deceased, in its entirety." I read it again. And again. The words didn't change. "Amanda?" I said. "Her niece? The one who lives in Florida? The one who hasn't visited in 5 years? The one who didn't even come to her uncle's funeral?" "Yes," Mr. Henderson said. "That Amanda." "But I've been paying the mortgage for 7 years. I renovated the kitchen. I fixed the roof. I replaced the water heater. I paid her property taxes. She promised me. She said I was like a daughter to her. She said the house was mine. She said I'd earned it." Mr. Henderson sighed. It was a tired sigh, like he'd had this conversation 100 times before. "I understand your frustration, Mrs. Thompson. I truly do. But legally, Patricia has every right to change her will at any time. The house is her property. She can leave it to anyone she wants. There's nothing you can do to challenge it. She's of sound mind. She made this decision voluntarily." "But she told me." "Promises aren't legally binding," he said. "I'm sorry, I really am. But there's nothing you can do." Nothing I can do. I didn't cry in his office. I didn't scream. I didn't make a scene. I just nodded. "Thank you for letting me know," I said. And I walked out. I walked to my car. I sat in the driver's seat for a long time, staring at the steering wheel. I didn't cry. I just sat there. Empty. That night, I sat on our couch and stared at the wall. James came home from work. He could tell something was wrong. "Megan, What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost. I told him what happened. He was silent for a long time. He stared at the floor. He didn't look at me. Then he said, "We can't do anything. It's her house. She can do what she wants. It's her right." "She took 7 years of my life," I said. "She took my money, my time, my energy, my trust. She took $6,000 of my savings for her kitchen. She took 2 weekends of your time for her roof. She took everything. And she lied to me. She lied to my face." James said, "She's my mother." I said, "She's a liar. She's a manipulator. She's a thief." We didn't speak for 3 days. The silence in our house was thick and heavy. I slept on the couch. He slept in the bedroom. We moved around each other like strangers. And then I made a decision. A decision that would change everything. I was an accountant. I knew about money. I knew about transfers. I knew exactly how much I'd spent on that house. I'd kept records of every single payment, every invoice, every receipt. I'd kept the email where she promised me the house. I'd kept everything. It was my nature. I documented everything. I sat down at my computer. I logged into our joint account. I looked at the automatic transfer, the one that had been going to Patricia's account every month for 7 years. $750 a month. For 84 months. Over $63,000 in mortgage payments alone, not including the kitchen, not including the roof, not including the water heater, not including the groceries and the utilities and the insurance. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I clicked, cancel. I stopped the transfer. I stopped every transfer. I stopped the mortgage payments. I stopped the insurance payments. I stopped everything. I didn't tell James. I didn't tell Patricia. I just did it. A month passed. Patricia didn't call. She didn't text. She didn't notice. She didn't notice until the bank called her. When she finally realized, I got a text. Just a text. No call. No visit. Just a cold, demanding message. "The bank is calling. The mortgage is due. I need you to transfer the money. Don't forget." I stared at my phone. I could feel the anger building in my chest. Not hot anger, but cold, hard, sharp. I typed my reply. 3 words. "Not my problem." She called me 30 seconds later. I didn't answer. She called again. I let it ring. She texted again. "What do you mean, not my problem? You've been paying it for 7 years. Why would you stop now?" I didn't answer. I didn't explain. I didn't justify. I didn't owe her anything. Then the real begging started. James called me at work. His voice was strained. "My mom is freaking out. She says you stopped the payments. She says the bank is threatening foreclosure. She says she's going to lose everything. Megan, please, you have to do something." "She should have thought about that," I said, "before she rewrote her will. Please, Megan, it's my mother. She's old. She's scared. She can't lose that house. It's all she has. It's where I grew up. It's where my father died. You can't do this to her. Please." "She should have thought about that," I said again, "before she decided to give it to Amanda. Before she lied to me for 7 years. Before she took my money and my time and my trust and threw them away like they meant nothing. Please, Megan, I'm begging you. I'll talk to her. I'll make her change the will. I'll make her fix it. Just please, please, pay the mortgage this one time. Just one time. So she doesn't lose everything." "I'm not paying anything," I said. "Not now. Not ever again." She came to my house the next day. She was crying. Her face was blotchy and swollen. Her eyes were red. She was wearing a bathrobe. She hadn't even bothered to get dressed. "Megan, please. I made a mistake. I was confused. I was scared. I didn't mean to leave the house to Amanda. I don't know what I was thinking. I was trying to, I don't know. Please, please, just pay the mortgage this one time. I'll fix the will. I promise. I'll make it right. I'll make everything right." I looked at her through my screen door. You said that before? I said. You promised me the house. For 7 years. Then you wrote me out of the will without telling me. Why should I believe you now? Why should I believe anything you say? Because I'm telling the truth, she sobbed. I'll go to the lawyer tomorrow. I'll change it. I'll make it right. I swear. I swear on my husband's grave. Just please. Please. Pay the mortgage. The bank is calling every day. They're threatening to foreclose. They're going to take my house. My whole life is in that house. Please. I shook my head. No. She fell to her knees on my front porch. Please, Megan. I'm begging you. I'm on my knees. I'll do anything. I'll sign anything. Just please, please don't let them take my house. Please. You should have thought about that, I said, before you betrayed me. And I closed the door. She kept calling. She left voicemails. She sent texts. She sent her sister, her brother, her cousins. James's phone kept ringing. My phone kept ringing. She was panicking, and she was getting desperate. Then came the letter. It arrived on a Thursday afternoon, a thin white envelope with a law firm's return address. I opened it and read it, a cease and desist letter. It was from her lawyer. Please cease and desist any contact with my client, it read. She is receiving legal advice. She will no longer be communicating with you directly. Any further communication should be directed through this office. I laughed. I laughed for a full minute. She was threatening me. With a lawyer. With a cease and desist letter. She was trying to intimidate me. She was trying to scare me into submission. I called Mr. Henderson. He answered the phone. Megan, he said, I can't discuss this case with you. You're a third party. You have no legal standing in this matter. I'm not asking you to discuss the case, I said. I'm asking you to deliver a message. He was quiet for a moment. What's the message? Tell Patricia that I've been documenting everything. Every payment. Every receipt. Every email. I have the email she sent me 2 years ago, promising me the house. I have the receipts for the kitchen renovation. I have bank statements showing 7 years of mortgage payments. I have everything. And I'm going to file a claim against the estate. I'm going to demand repayment of every single dollar I spent on that house. Every dollar. Plus interest. Plus legal fees. And I'm going to get it. I'm going to take her to court. I'm going to sue her for fraud. I'm going to sue her for unjust enrichment. I'm going to sue her for promissory estoppel. She's going to lose everything anyway. And I'm going to make sure she does. The lawyer was quiet for a long moment. Megan, you can't file a claim against a living person's estate. The will hasn't been probated yet. She's still alive. The estate doesn't exist yet. I know, I said. But I can file a lawsuit. I can sue her right now. I've already been working with a lawyer, and I have a very strong case. Extremely strong. She promised me the house in writing. She knew I was relying on that promise. She knew I was investing in her property based on that promise. That's fraud. That's promissory estoppel. That's a slam-dunk case. I didn't have a lawyer. I was bluffing. But I knew enough about legal terms to sound like I knew what I was talking about. And it worked. 2 days later, Patricia called me again. Not a text. A call. Her voice was broken. Megan, please. Please come to the house. Please. I need to talk to you. I need to show you something. Please, Megan. I'm begging you. I didn't want to go. Every instinct told me to stay away, but something made me go. I don't know what. Curiosity, maybe. Or maybe some part of me still believed in second chances. Some part of me still wanted to believe that people could change. She was sitting on the kitchen floor when I arrived. The kitchen I'd renovated. The kitchen I'd paid for with my savings. The kitchen I'd spent months of my life designing and building. She had papers spread out around her. Piles of them. Bank statements, legal documents, letters from the bank. She was crying. She looked up at me with red, swollen eyes. I'm sorry, she said. I'm so sorry. I made a terrible mistake. I was scared. I was jealous. I was angry. I thought, I thought you were trying to take my son away from me. I thought you were using me. I thought you were just waiting for me to die so you could take my house. I didn't trust you, and I was wrong. I was so wrong. You were the only one who ever helped me, the only one who ever showed up. And I treated you like garbage. I didn't say anything. I just stood there, watching her. Amanda, she said. Amanda has no idea about this. I told her I was leaving her the house, but she doesn't know about the mortgage. She doesn't know about the payments. She doesn't know about any of it. She doesn't know how much I owe. She doesn't know the house is almost in foreclosure. I was going to let her deal with it. I was going to let her figure it out. I was going to let her take care of it. And I was going to let you find out after I was dead. I was going to make her pay it back to you. But I didn't think you'd find out. I didn't think you'd check. I didn't think. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was a coward. I was a liar. I was terrible. I don't deserve your help. I don't deserve your forgiveness. But I'm asking for it anyway. Please. Please help me. I looked at her. This woman who'd taken 7 years of my life. Who'd lied to me. Who'd used me. Who'd betrayed me in the worst possible way. She was broken. She was defeated. She was exactly where I'd wanted her to be. But I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel happy. I just felt tired. I don't want your apology, I said. I want your signature. She blinked. What? I pulled out a document from my bag. My lawyer, my real lawyer, not the bluff, had prepared it for me. It was a contract, an agreement. You're going to sign this, I said. You're going to transfer the house to me, free and clear. No mortgage, no liens, no claims. You're going to walk away, and I'm going to take possession. In exchange, I won't sue you for fraud. I won't go after you for the renovation money. I won't embarrass you in front of your friends and family. I won't tell anyone what you did. I'll just take the house and walk away. She stared at me. You want me to give you the house? The house I've lived in for 40 years? The house where I raised my son? The house where my husband died? The house I've been paying for 7 years, I said. The house I renovated. The house you promised me. Yes. I want you to give it to me. You owe me this. You owe me everything. I can't. You can, I said. And you will. Or I'll file my claim, and I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what you did. Your friends, your church, your bridge group, everyone. I'll tell them how you lied to me, how you used me, how you took 7 years of my life and threw them away. They'll never look at you the same way. She signed. She cried the whole time. But she signed. Then I added one more clause. I put it in the contract at the last minute. A favor to myself. A little gift for the 7 years of suffering. You're allowed to stay in the house, I said. As my tenant. But you'll pay me rent. Every month. On time. She looked at me. Her face was white. Rent? I have to pay you rent? To live in my own house? Your house? I said. It's not your house anymore. It's mine. You signed it over. And you'll pay rent. The same amount you asked me to pay every month for 7 years. $750. Every month. Starting next month. But I can't afford that. I don't have any money. I lost my job. I have nothing. Figure it out, I said. Or find a new place to live. I hear there are nice apartments downtown. They're not as nice as this house, but there's something. I walked out. I didn't look back. Now Patricia lives in a house that used to be hers. She pays me rent. She's always late. She always has an excuse. But she pays. And I have the power now. I'll never let her forget what she did. I'll never let her forget how close she came to losing everything. Do I feel bad? I tell my friends. Sometimes. But then I remember the will. And I remember the lies. And I remember that she would have left me with nothing, and I don't feel bad anymore. Not even a little. Last week, Amanda called me. She'd heard what happened. She wasn't angry. She was relieved. I didn't want the house, she said. I didn't even know about it. I have my own house, my own life. I don't need her drama. You can have it. You earned it. I thanked her. She said, "You did the right thing." The hardest part wasn't taking the house, I tell people. It was realizing that family isn't always what you think it is. Family isn't blood. Family isn't promises. Family is showing up. Family is honesty. Family is not taking advantage of the people who love you. Patricia taught me that, and I'll never forget it. What would you have done if someone took 7 years of your life and your money and left you nothing? Would you have done the same? Or would you have let them keep the house? Comment below. And if you made it this far, hit subscribe, because karma always comes with a receipt.